I'd like to talk to you today about why American Sign Language, or ASL, is an integral part of workplace communication. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, approximately 3 in every 1,000 children in the U.S. are born with detectable hearing loss, and approximately 15%, or 37.5 million adults aged 18 and over, report some amount of difficulty hearing. A 2016 report by the National Deaf Center found that as of 2014, among deaf adults aged 21 to 64, 48% are in the labor force and 47% are not. Title I of the Americans with Disabilities Act gives deaf individuals legal protection against discriminatory hiring practices. Qualified deaf applicants are to be considered for a job with or without reasonable accommodation. Deaf employees have a number of ways of communicating with hearing coworkers, including texting, tablets, video phones, and relay services, but many workplaces are not ASL friendly. Meetings in particular can be very difficult, as even an expert lip reader would be hard-pressed to keep up with 10 or 20 people talking fast and all at once with no particular order. Crude forms of sign language are used in a number of professions when nonverbal communication is necessary. From doctors and nurses in operating rooms to cooks and waiters in noisy restaurants, facial expressions and hand movements indicate a number of internally agreed-upon signals. In February of 2016, the Washington Post reported a Good Samaritan story that quickly went viral, involving a Starbucks barista who learned sign language in order to communicate with a deaf customer who regularly frequented the establishment. The customer, Ibi Piracha, usually communicated with the baristas by typing out his order on his phone. He was pleasantly surprised when the barista asked for his order in sign language and posted the story on social media to promote the initiative of the hearing community supporting the deaf community. It was shared globally and brought attention to the importance of deaf and hearing communication in a workplace setting. Writing for Deaf Culture Online, Paul Fugate explains, "The deaf community is relatively small and cohesive. The moment you sign with your deaf patrons, the word of your interaction with them will spread like wildfire among the community. Deaf people seek out businesses and retailers that attempt to make a concerted effort to interact with them. You don't have to be proficient at sign language to ask a deaf person if he or she needs assistance. Having a basic understanding of sign language and deaf culture will go a long way. And if they ask, 'Oh, do you know sign language?' you can simply reply, 'A little bit.'" ASL is a medium of communication between two people with a language barrier. Making language connections is important for everyone of all languages and abilities. Better communication among coworkers can help a team operate more smoothly. Within cultural groups and social structures, you are likely to encounter someone whose primary language is not English, and establishing a communication medium is likely to be very beneficial. Learning better communication mediums can even help to understand how to address others in small groups or individually. For example, you would not speak to an older person in the same way that you would address a peer or someone younger. And between employees and customers, better communication builds rapport and leads to higher customer satisfaction, which can boost profits for companies. In the workplace, companies who employ deaf individuals cultivate a training opportunity for other staff. As individuals, there are numerous training resources available in print and online for learning ASL. Good lessons should be themed, not just a list of words, and also include retention exercises to help with memorization. Grammar structure is different from English, so practice and review are key. Learning sign language can open many doors in the workplace and also socially. Even if you do not work or never meet a deaf person in your career, you may have a friend or relative who is deaf, or meet a deaf individual with whom you would like to communicate. The deaf community is vast and diverse and waiting to meet you.